This timeline shows a standard 15-year professional football career. Those 3 narrow slivers right there, those are the only World Cup windows an average top-tier player will ever see. The math is unforgiving. A player gets a strict 90 minutes per match. Lose or pull a hamstring, and you sit through a 4-year wait for the next window, all while your biological clock steadily counts down your physical prime. When time is the single greatest enemy an athlete faces, the path to immortality usually requires a performance that shatters the standard schedule. To leave a mark on this stage, a player has to stop looking at the clock as an immovable constraint and start treating it as a weapon. Heading into the 3rd place match at the 2002 tournament, Turkey's Hakan Şükür was struggling. He had played for 8 hours and 22 minutes at his first global finals without scoring a single goal. Then, South Korea made a single mistake on a pass back from the center spot. Şükür pounced, took a touch, and beat the goalkeeper. Exactly 11 seconds had passed. Turkey took the lead before they have even touched the ball to start the match. Şükür secured the record while most of the players on the field were still settling into their positions. History on this stage doesn't always require a long build-up. It often favors extreme opportunistic speed. Other players attack the clock from the opposite direction, by arriving years before they are supposed to. Take Pelé at the 1958 World Cup. Before the tournament, Brazil's squad psychologist recommended leaving him at home. The official evaluation concluded the 17-year-old was too young and too immature to handle the pressure of Scandinavia. Pelé's response was a semi-final hat-trick and 2 goals in the final. At 17 years and 249 days old, he became the youngest world champion in the history of the tournament. Talent can bypass the traditional timeline, proving that the highest level of performance does not have a mandated waiting period. Then there are the survivors, players who refuse to yield to the biological clock or generational turnover. Rafael Marquez anchored the Mexican national team across 2 decades. He became the first player to captain a national team across 5 distinct World Cups, stretching his leadership from 2002 to 2018. Germany's Miroslav Klose took a parallel path. He maintained his prime across 4 separate tournaments, operating as a consistent scoring threat into his mid-30s. This chart shows the statistical gap Klose created over 12 years. On the left, a record 17 total match victories. On the right, his all-time competition high of 16 goals. While sudden bursts of speed are spectacular to watch, relentless longevity is a distinct form of World Cup success. The 2022 final at Lusail Stadium demonstrated how tactical shifts can warp the flow of a single match. Argentina's narrow 4-3-3 mid-block tactical structure starved France of space for the first 80 minutes. This gridlock neutralized Kylian Mbappé on the wing, while allowing Lionel Messi to dictate the pace of the game from the center. With time running out, France abandoned their standard tactics for a hyper-aggressive 4-2-4 formation. This structural shift allowed Mbappé to score twice in a 120-second window, forcing the match into extra time. The following 30 minutes became a war of attrition, with 2 superstars trading goals as the final seconds of the tournament bled away. The match demonstrated how individual brilliance can compress the pressure of an entire career into a 2-hour window. 11 seconds, 17 years old, 16 goals, 5 tournaments. These are the specific benchmarks that distinguish a standard career from a historical anomaly. Lionel Messi's victory in 2022 was the result of a 20-year battle against his own physical prime. He secured that win by outlasting Mbappé's effort to break the game's structural limits through pure scoring volume. The players who become legends are those who refuse to be limited by a 90-minute whistle or a traditional athletic peak. Every match eventually ends, but these records stay etched in the books long after the players have left the pitch.
Said ever. Follow for more crazy football facts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.